Hello and welcome to Behind the Spires. I'm Ed, and this is...
Hi guys, I'm Molly, and we are your friendly neighborhood city employees.
Yes, come join us behind the Spires, where we bring the business of Frederick forward, highlighting updates on Frederick's projects, policies, and events.
Each week, we bring special guests behind the Spires to introduce you to the people who shape life here in the city of Frederick. And today, we're joined by Jenny and Lauren from the city's sustainability team.
Ooh.
I think we're going to talk about composting, pollinators, and the new climate energy action plan, and all the ways Frederick is working to be a greener, healthier place to live.
We got some news.
Oh, do we?
We've got some news.
Tell me.
You remember last year how we did the lip sync and we won this beautiful little trophy?
Oh, yes, I do remember. So fun. It was for the Student Homelessness Initiative Partnership.
SHIP.
Of Frederick County.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that was a great time.
it was a great time.
Yeah.
We did a medley of like 2000s types hits.
That's right. 90s, 2000s, yeah.
Yeah. And we did it again this year.
That's right. We did.
Went. I'm showing some footage right now, but had some nice costumes and everybody was all excited. And, you know, we just came away with another trophy.
Boom, Golden Mike. We want to give a shout out to SHIP. They provide critical resources and services to hundreds of Frederick County youth experiencing homelessness. And we were so happy to work with the event again.
Yes.
Last year, the total that the event brought in was $34,000. This year was $49,000.
It was crazy.
So it was a great time. I think stay tuned for 2027 where we will try to bring back
a third one. I think they call that a turkey.
Is it a turkey?
In bowling it is.
Oh, I was going to say a three-peat. But anyway.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So if you're not watching us on video, you can catch our lovely mugs here on YouTube at City of Frederick, Maryland. Of course, you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and all the other podcasting services. So now, our interview with Jenny and Lauren is coming right up. I'm going to put these back here so that we can just admire them. We'll be right back.
Here's the City of Frederick's manager of sustainability, Jenny Willoughby, with a water conservation tip.
Check your home for water leaks. You can do this by listening to your toilet. If it continues to run after it's been flushed, you may have a leak. Check for drips in the faucet and make sure to fix those right away.
Hey, and welcome back. Thanks, Midnight. Welcome back, guys. We are here with our two very good friends from Sustainability, Jenny and Lauren.
Thank you
Hey
for having
there.
us.
Welcome to the podcast. Before we get started, we'll start with you, Jenny. Can you introduce yourselves for those who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet?
Sure. I'm Jenny Willoughby. I'm the Sustainability Manager for the City of Frederick.
I'm Lauren, and I work for her. I'm Lauren Paulette, by the way, and I am our Sustainability Outreach Coordinator for the city.
Now, when people hear the word sustainability, they sometimes think it just means recycling. Can you give us a bigger picture and what does sustainability team actually do for the city of Frederick? Otherwise, provide nice little plushies.
All right. I'll give you the sort of rundown. So we work in a whole bunch of different sectors. And so it includes water and air quality, recycling and trash is one of them, buildings and energy, tree canopy and open spaces, food and nutrition. So we have a huge array of things that include sustainability, and we try to do projects in most of them every year. We can't get to everything because it's just Lauren and I. So we try very hard. And so I handle some of the things like the stream restorations and some of the bigger things like big solar projects. Lauren handles all of the outreach for all the projects.
Which involves a lot of education about the different actions that we can take to support our birds, our bees, butterflies, all the bee words. And so on the day-to-day, you might find us partnering with the local business for a stream cleanup. So that we've been doing some of those recently and have one scheduled now for the Mayor's Give a Day in May initiative. But then thinking big picture, we're also tasked with putting together and tracking the progress of our climate and energy action plan. So that's kind of our large overarching document that lays out the vision for all things climate and energy related for the city in terms of like policy, legislation, and just things that anyone can do on the day to day to better the environment.
You guys have a lot on your plate, and it's
Yes.
just true of you, like you said.
Right.
You mentioned some things I want to get back to because I didn't even realize you did food and nutrition work. But you did talk about our lovely Midnight and this bee fellow that's with us today. And Frederick was just unanimously, I guess, decreed um, Bee City USA by the City Council in a public meeting. And that builds on your Bird City work that you guys have been doing for years. So, what does that designation actually mean?
So we had to do a few things in order to become a bee city, and one of them is to develop an internal integrated pest management plan, which we're working on right now. We, of course, had to have a committee, and our committee is a subcommittee of the Sustainability Committee. That's an already existing committee appointed by the council, and they created this subgroup that focuses on bee city stuff. And then we also have to have a lot of educational components. And that's where Lauren comes in and where our community partners come in. And that committee is made up of members from our main sustainability committee, but also from the public. The public is always welcome to attend our meetings and be part of it. And it's called Be Together Frederick. And the county also has a sister subcommittee from their sustainability commission. So we're kind of working together. We do have a lot of our own events, though. There's a lot of stuff happening on either side that's separated. But we wanted to be together, Frederick, and so we named it the same on both sides. But really, it's an effort to put those things in action. We have a low impact landscape ordinance that we passed a couple years ago now, and this just puts those things into action and really says, we're making an effort. This is our goal. We want to see people be encouraged to take out their lawn and put in a low impact landscape, and we're going to give you the tools to do that. And that's where Lauren comes in. She is doing a lot of the website stuff, adding things on as resources for guidance on our website. And then we do have a tiny little demonstration pollinator garden. I'll let her talk about it because she's the one who installed it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really just a designation that says we as a city are working toward protecting our pollinators, not just our bees, but our butterflies too. And typically the actions that we take to support our bees are also beneficial for our birds and our butterflies. It's all kind of happening in the same vein. And what's neat about it is that we can do lots of different things. So like Jenny was saying, I have my hands in the dirt sometimes helping our Friends of Parks groups expand native gardens at our parks, because as a city, there's thoughtful leadership that we have that if we can demonstrate that we're able to do something and do it well, it becomes inspiration for our residents to also kind of do the same. And so that was sort of the thinking behind the native garden at Max Keene Memorial Park. And that's our most recent installation. And it's not that complicated. And that's the intention, right? We want to break it down so that it feels accessible for the average person to do something as simple as planting some black-eyed Susan seeds that they might receive at one of our events. So every time we table, we give away free black-eyed Susan seeds. Sometimes we have little bees as well. You might see them if you come to one of our events. Wink, wink. But yeah, and we're doing a lot more than just the native gardening. That's just the piece that connects very directly with a lot of our wildlife habitat restoration and conservation efforts. But there's other things that anyone can do to protect our pollinators, like reducing your use of pesticides and herbicides and applying them less, or hiring the right person to apply them when it's actually needed to treat our invasive species problems that we have. you can reduce the amount of leaves that you send away with yard waste pickup. Leaving our leaves is so important for our overwintering pollinator species. And it's something so simple, but there might be that gap where someone doesn't realize that that's something they could do to help our native wildlife.
Okay, so what is so awesome about you two is you're so passionate. Like you love what you do and you love the earth.
Yeah.
For someone who also loves the earth but is not as knowledgeable as you, like why is it so important to protect pollinators and birds? Like what does it do?
Well, pollinators are the thing that bring you the food. I mean, you really have to have pollinators in order to get your crops and everything else. That's one of the main things. But another thing is it makes our ecosystems work, and ecosystems are a whole bunch of components all working together. They're all holding hands, and when one of them breaks, you can kind of wreck the system. Things start to fall apart. So if, say, we lose a pollinator in the system, depending on what kind they are, you might lose that a tree species that goes with it.
Right.
So you could end up messing up an entire ecosystem when you lose one or two pollinators, depending on which ones they are. And it's not just your food system, but it's everything else that kind of works together.
It's all connected. There's
Yeah.
bees that are specialized to pollinate certain flowers. And then there are, without the bees, you don't have the birds because lots of bird species actually feed on birds. So thinking of like that elementary school food web, right? You got to have the insects so that the birds can thrive and then everything else thrives as well. But then there's this other benefits of having our bees helps helps pollinate all of the different trees. And if you have a garden or if you're a farmer, right? We have a huge agricultural community in the county, and there's even still some farms in the city too. So I'm sure they reap the benefits of having pollinators in Frederick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually building a little garden in front of my house,
Oh,
and I've got some of those black-eyed Susan seeds that you've been giving out. I'm going to start planting.
great.
But for other people to help support pollinators and birds, what can like the average resident do for their own yards or like patios?
There's a lot of things you can do, and just keep it simple. I always tell people, don't go overboard. Don't go crazy with the palette. Just pick, 5 things that you really, really like and put them together. Try to have something that's blooming all the time. So something that's an early bloomer, a midsummer bloomer, and then something that kind of blooms late in the season. And mix them all together so that they have food at all times, because you're going to be feeding a variety of pollinators. It's not just one or two things. So you just want to have that variety. And colors, good. Look for things like flower shape, because different pollinators that eat differently. So you want to have, there's short-tongued bees and long-tongued bees, and then butterflies. Yeah. So there's different things that different things eat, and we have hummingbirds, and they eat differently than other things too. So you want to have a variety for them, but for people who are just starting out, start out with a really simple palette and build on that from there.
Yeah, and like Jenny was saying, a lot of people think that a pollinator is just a bee,
Right.
but it's a way broader category of things. I mean, some birds are considered pollinators, like hummingbirds, and they'll usually go for really bright red tubular flowers, like coral honeysuckle, which is the only native honeysuckle to Maryland. And keep it simple. We actually just put downstairs in City Hall a little guide, a little fact sheet that shows different actions that you can take to support pollinators. And on the backside, it shows some of the best plants and not only, flowers, but also different like culinary plants that you can plant in your veggie garden, as well as some shrubs and trees that are super beneficial for our pollinators. So you can definitely go downstairs, grab one of those, or see our website. So we're building out our Bee City website at the moment. So stay tuned. It'll be here soon.
Heck yes. I was just Googling like what flowers to plant. I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to go do that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. And maybe with this new Bee City designation, we can do a Name the Bee campaign. That will be to be determined.
That could be fun.
Hey. Okay, so moving into another big topic that you guys have been working on and have already discussed, the community-wide climate and energy action plan. So the city council Jenny, you presented it and it was adopted unanimously at the April 2nd meeting. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
In plain language for us, mere mortals, what is it and why does it matter to Frederick?
So it's a joint plan. It was with the county, Frederick County, and the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments. We had a partnership, and we came together because climate is something that doesn't care about boundaries. The issues that we have are going to cross boundaries, and so the strategies and actions that are in this plan, some of them are very specific for the county or specific for the city, but most of them cross both of us, and we're going to need to come together as residents and city staff to make all these things happen. And it's a list of mitigation and adaptation strategies and actions, as well as some resiliency measures that we're looking at. One of the main things that we targeted was heat, and looking at what heat problems are going to look like in the city and the county as well. And we have some actions built into that. But then we also have some simple things in there, but then we also have more complicated things that are going to take us a lot longer, like building out our alternative transportation network, which we've been working on for a while. But that's a huge component because that's the biggest greenhouse gas emissions contributor in this area. The entire region is transportation issues. So we're going to be targeting that a lot, but that's a big thing. But there's also smaller things that everybody can do.
So I think of it as like this large book that just cements our commitment as a city toward our climate and energy objectives. And that book has two kind of sub-books in it. Mitigation, which is how we as a city and as a community really reduce the total emissions of greenhouse gases. And then resilience, like you were saying, is that adaptation piece. So with resilience, it's like, okay, how do we harden our infrastructure? How do we react to the reality that climate change is here and we're facing it? And so that is the kind of idea behind our climate and energy action plan. And within them, like you said, there's all these different actions. Some of them are more appropriate for the government to take on, and others involve things like we talked about earlier about encouraging and educating our residents to expand wildlife habitat by creating low-impact landscapes, i.e. native gardens.
Yep.
Now, a big piece of the plan is making sure vulnerable communities aren't left behind.
Of course.
How is equity built into the work that you guys are doing?
Equity is something we think about in every aspect. It's everywhere. We are, with everything that we do, especially with outreach, what Lauren does, we have to think about who have we already talked to, and then who have we not talked to, who have we left behind.
Who isn't at the table?
Right. And we always want to go to those communities. So we want to bring the program, the CEAP to them. We actually went out into the community and asked them, what are you seeing in your communities? Are you seeing flooding? Are you seeing heat? Are you seeing all these issues? You tell us what you're seeing because you're living there. We're not. We're elsewhere. So we need to build this plan based on what you're seeing. So that's a great example with the CEAP. We went to, I think we had 18 different in-person events. We had 645 people respond to the survey. We also had a technical advisory committee. So it was really getting that outreach. I mean, we actually gave them some charts and they got to write down all the things, and that was all captured in the CEAP. But we do that every day with all of our programming as well, like, with compost.
Composting.
I mean, everything has some sort of component to reach out into our disadvantaged communities, people who we haven't talked to before. We always want to reach out to new people. I want to see new people sitting at the table or coming to our events. I love it when, folks we've already seen come, but I really want to see new faces.
Yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats. Yeah. So we can't address the sustainability issue without acknowledging environmental injustices and the fact that people do not have access to the same resources as others. And so it's something that we think about in every single thing that we do. With our composting marketing, we actually partnered with a couple of community partners like Centro Hispano de Frederick and the Asian American Center to translate our educational materials into 7 different languages.
Yeah.
And we did that because if you read our rack card, it says anyone can compost. And we truly believe that anyone can do it. But we don't want language to be a barrier. Like, we want you to know that this program exists and that it is something that you can utilize, and it is something that is free to you, especially for, our single family homes, duplexes, like anyone who's receiving currently trash service, they're eligible for this. And so it brings us a lot of joy, especially for me, like when I'm driving into work and I see the compost bins out, it makes me happy because it's one of those things that we're so fortunate as a city to have that as a permanent, resource that is accessible to our residents. It takes all of the thinking kind of out of compost, and it turns it into something that is as similar to, recycling and trash service, where you get a bin, you fill it, they take it, you put the liner, and you fill it again. And so it kind of aligns itself to a system that we already have. But to date, we have, as a city, collectively composted 2 million pounds of food scraps.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, I could probably make a calculation as to how many blue whales that is equivalent to in weight.
Put that in the bottom right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do the math. But it's one of those things where, like, little things done in mass have great impact.
And like you said, reducing barriers,
Right.
because I think sometimes sustainability is looked at almost like a luxury, because it's like, oh, I have to do XYZ first just to survive in this world.
Of course.
But if you take all of that out and you make it accessible for language and you make it easy to get, whatever bin you need to get, that's great. So how can people, if they're not already involved in composting, how can they get involved?
frederickmd.gov/compost with a capital C.
Okay.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're going to make a bit.ly, so if they do lowercase c, they can also get there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because that also shouldn't be a barrier.
Right.
So you guys are so passionate about everything you do. Was there a moment on the job that really cemented for you why this work matters?
On this job or my previous job?
It can be anything sustainability related.
So I'll say I started this, in this field. I'm a very old person. I started in this
That
field.
about yourself, then you're saying about myself.
I started in this field more than 30 years ago.
Wow.
And I was just passionate about, I saw a problem and I saw that, hey, I could actually do something about it. And I started out as an educator, and I was working in museums and providing education for people about marine trash. And that, I always thought I was going to be a shark researcher.
Yeah. Didn't you do research in the Bahamas about sharks?
Not about sharks, but yeah, I thought I was going to be a shark researcher, and got moved into forestry. But it doesn't matter which part of sustainability you're in. It's all important, and they all tie together. Forestry ties into marine sciences as well as riverine ecology and everything else. And so just seeing that I could actually make a difference in just this little tiny piece, I could actually move the needle. And then if other people joined me, we could move the needle together. And I felt like that was such, an eye-opening thing. And I was a teenager when I started, and just slowly moving the needle. And yes, there have been setbacks. But I have to say, if I hadn't been persistent, there wouldn't be some of the programs. I started the compost program before she even came on. And if it hadn't been for the sustainability committee and us just continually picking at it, that wouldn't have even become a pilot. And then it became a permanent program, and we got all the money to do the outreach. So yeah, I think that persistence, and then just my moment was, when I was a lot younger and working with sharks and working, in the marine sciences field. and really seeing that trash was the issue and trying to pick it up.
If you couldn't get any cooler, you're a shark researcher. Like, I don't know. We got to.
Well, I'm not a shark researcher. I think it would be really
cool.
She definitely could have been.
Worked with sharks. I mean, that's pretty
You were on the path. You could have. I was doing cameras.
That's still good.
It's still great. I also was interested in marine biology, so it all comes back to water and how we protect our water. And for me, being in a more outreach-oriented educational role, like it does come back to doing our programs with the kids. So we have a bunch of annual events that we plan every year, oriented toward, children anywhere age like 3 and up. And we've done compost story time. Actually, most of our compost-oriented programs are the ones that I am most thrilled about. But there was this one moment where, I went into Centro Hispano and I actually presented as a part of their Éxito summer program. So for those of you listening, that is this awesome program they do every year for their students. And it's kind of like a summer camp, but it's focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So they brought us in as like kind of a science educator. And I gave bilingual presentations, so in English and Spanish, to our students. And a couple weeks later, we had National Night Out at Hill Street Park. We had a booth set up and we were giving out our compost buckets for people to participate in our community drop-off program. And as I'm standing there giving out these buckets, a little girl from our program, from my presentation, came up to me and she brought a banana peel to put in the bucket.
Oh.
So she remembered. She learned, and that made me feel good as an educator, wow, I was able to get through to somebody. And so as a single person, there's only so much that I can do. But if I can educate and inspire other people, collectively we can do so much more.
Yes. And you guys all, I mean, you got hooked at young ages. So it's you're helping other young kids get hooked.
Right. Now, we are coming short on time here. So another question or two before we get into our trivia.
So we had trivia, but I'm excited for that.
What is coming up next for the sustainability team? Are there any events, programs, initiatives that residents should have on their radar for the spring and summer?
Well, it's hair on fire season right now. Everything's happening.
Right.
Well, we have
The walk in the woods.
We have a walk in the woods on May 9th that everyone's welcome to go. That's in the watershed. That we do that every year in the spring and usually in the fall as well. And that's a free walk for people to come and learn about the history of the watershed and ecology, learn about the importance of water. Water touches everything that we do, every piece. And so it's really a kind of a cool hike. It's a 3-mile hike. It's really easy. And it just gives you a chance to be out in the woods.
With Jenny.
I lead that hike, but then at the same time, we also have
stream cleanups going on at the same time. But another event that we just got on the calendar is on May 19th. It is a sustainability happy hour that is celebrating our City Nature Challenge. So last weekend, we were a part of a global nature challenge where anybody could take out the iNaturalist app and observe anything that's living around them. They take a picture, it suggests an identification, and then it becomes eventually, when other people confirm what you observed, it becomes a research grade thing, a research grade observation for scientists to use and learn from.
Oh, because it's peer
it's community science. Yeah. And so that happy hour is going to be happening at Sandbox Brewery on May 19th from 6 to 8 p.m.
Oh my gosh. You guys have a lot of cool events. Can we resist?
Yeah.
We'll have to sit you under a desk, but yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I sit next to Midnight?
Oh, Midnight gets to sit next to me.
You're going to be under her desk.
Yeah, you would have to be in my office. I mean, it's a pretty cool office. But yeah, hopefully we get to grow. That's something we would love to see in the future.
Yeah. So for people who want to get involved and learn more about sustainability, you're very active on Instagram. Yes. Where can they find out more information?
So on Instagram, we are Frederick_sustainability. And on Facebook, we are Sustainable Frederick.
Fantastic.
And they can also sign up for our newsletter.
Yes,
on the website.
That's right. It's on the website.
Yep. On our main sustainability page, there's a big picture that says "Water we up to," and that's how you get. That's how you get hooked in.
I like all your guys' nature puns. It's really great. It's part of the job.
Absolutely.
Comes with the territory. Well, thank you guys for all the work that you do. It's incredible. It's very inspiring. And it's awesome that you guys are so passionate because you just feel like, and you're knowledgeable too. So it's like having our own little like science teacher here that just like wants the world to be a better place. And what more can you want?
Right?
But before we let you go, it's easy trivia.
Okay.
We have
Quick round trivia.
quick round trivia. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll start us off. So we're gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
And you have to answer as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Just
Quick
first
round.
thing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, ready? Your favorite native Maryland plant?
Ooh, mountain mint.
Oh my gosh.
Sheer tree person. It's got to be a tree.
Purple coneflower.
Okay, purple flower. Okay, one item people always think is recyclable but isn't.
Recyclable or compostable?
Listen, it's dealer's
Recyclable?
choice.
All right.
Do either.
Recyclable,
Uh-huh.
it's pizza boxes, but they are compostable.
Agree with that.
What?
Ooh.
I
Yes.
just learned that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
So
Oh.
compost crew will take pizza boxes. That was gonna be my answer as well. So,
Okay, that's really good. Okay, so pizza boxes compostable, not recyclable.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Paper or reusable bag? Which one are you actually carrying around right now?
reusable bags, of course.
Oh my gosh, of course. Okay, this is gonna be your hardest question yet. This is the last question.
Oh my.
If you had to pick one, bees, birds, or trees?
Oh, birds.
Bees.
Oh my gosh, right when you guys sat down, you were like, I'm a bird person, and you were like, she's a bee person, and I was like, I know the answer.
Right.
Well, I know trees too. So, but I'm still gonna go with the insects because they make the trees go around.
Yeah, I mean, you guys clearly lived that out. Without the bees,
Yeah.
nothing else.
I love them all, but the birds have a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that's okay. Midnight is your girl, so that's
Yeah.
all right.
Birds do.
Yeah, and we'll name our bee friend
One day.
there.
Yeah, totally doing Fat Bear or Fat Bee Week.
That week. Yes. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you so much for having us. This is so fun.
And we will be right back. And now you can talk. That's just a good name.
I compost because I want to reduce the amount of waste that goes to the landfill every day.
I started composting with Compost Crew this year.
I turn my scraps into something useful for the environment. City residents can compost for free, so sign up to start making a difference.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Well, Ed, that was Jenny and Lauren from the sustainability team. I love how much of their work is happening right under our noses.
Absolutely.
Compost bins on the curb, like Lauren said, the bees in the flower beds and native trees, all over the city.
Right. And it's work that really makes a difference for the city and just making everything really lovely to be in.
Yes.
And the climate energy action plan really stood out to me. It's easy to feel like climate change is too big to do anything about.
Right.
But hearing how the city and county are tackling it together with real data and strategies is genuinely encouraging.
And I'm excited to see they're going to have a dashboard rollout on, so you don't have to like flip through the entire plan. You can kind of see what are some short-term wins, what are some long-term things that we can do together, like you mentioned, city and county. And the best part is that residents have a role to play too, whether it's signing up for the composting, planting the Black-eyed Susans.
I'm excited to plant mine.
Yes. Or, letting your yard go a little wild in the fall and letting the leaves, stay there for the pollinators, our lovely bee friends. Every little bit adds up.
Yes. And if you want to dig deeper, you can head to cityoffrederickmd.gov and look up the sustainability page. You'll find the Climate Energy Action Plan, the annual sustainability report, and links to sign up for composting and Tree Frederick.
Yes. And don't forget about the sustainability email newsletter that they mentioned. It's an easy way to hear about their events, like their May 19th event, their happy hour, volunteer opportunities, and program launches before everyone else does. So you can get a sneak peek before we announce it on things like this podcast.
I should have asked, do you think that happy hour includes different types of bottled water?
Oh.
So that we could all be water sommeliers.
Here he is. There he is.
Now, a reminder, city council meetings and work sessions are open to the public.
Yep.
You can attend in person or watch online. Head to the city's public meeting page for agendas, videos, meeting materials, and check out frederickmd.gov/FY27 budget to stay up to date on all the budget season meetings.
Yes, it is budget season. We are nearing the end of it. And if you don't have time for a full meeting, Behind the Spires now has a short news update format, quick briefings on what's happening, new projects, major decisions, upcoming events. And you can also stay updated with the City Minute updates on YouTube and social media. Lots of ways to stay connected on what's going on in the city.
And of course, we want to hear from you.
We do.
So
if you have any questions, topics, or someone you'd like us to interview, send us an email at behindthespires@cityoffrederickmd.gov.
That's Behind the Spires at cityoffrederickmd.gov.
Behind the Spires at cityoffrederickmd.gov. And if you enjoy the show, remember to like and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or YouTube.
And before we dip on back behind the spires, we just ask a teeny tiny little favor. Tell your friends about your time here with the podcast. And if you get a chance, leave us a quick 5-star review. You can do that right in your podcasting app, and it helps more people discover the show.
That's right. So thanks for spending time with us today.
Yes, and remember, kindness costs us nothing, but it means everything. So we'll see you next time on Behind the Spires.
Bye.